All right. So we got seems to have started. It did say PowerShell. So maybe that's the only environment where the interactive terminal works. I presume we can cancel out of this. Clone a repository. Oh, the cross-platform PowerShell. Oh, so this is actually a PowerShell message. Hmm. Clone, build, run. Okay, so this is a repository with a Docker file. No, it already said it was starting a WSL2 thing. I wanted to see it start before I started stream. But we did pick that during setup. Yeah. Actually, it is... No, documents. One life. Now, they said PowerShell, so we might have to do that. The build script is doing okay. We'll probably just go into a command shell, and I guess we could have done like a command shell in Alpine to test that. Interesting. So every one of those image layers is essentially a little machine that it runs once against a non-Windows Docker host. Okay, permissions issue. I remember seeing that before. Now I don't necessarily have a command to do that. I mean, I guess we could go ahead and try to package and then run that, because that I do have a little hook for. What is it? Binsha. Invalid mount config. Oh, right. We actually have to make the volume. How about that? And this happens to be on. Where's the volume? Oh, that's package server, not package server run. Oh, hold data 11. No. Invalid mount config for type volume. Oh, yeah, this is one of the other Windows issues. Program files get ohold db. Mount path must be absolute. Let's see if this is the... And they just said PowerShell. And what's the magic key we have to do to get that option? Shift. I got PowerShell and Linux Shell. We may have to try both of them. Nope. Nope, nope. Okay, so... Well, PowerShell, yeah. Well, yeah, since we're doing bash stuff here... We might need the... Well, Docker said PowerShell, well, that's probably for a more pure Windows-based workflow. Ah. Okay, so in the Linux shell it works. Well, do we have... nope, it doesn't work. Well, maybe there's actually nothing here. Right, because this is the path we run in. Once we get up and going. Okay, so we have what looks like a useful terminal. And from here, we can just do package server run. And we do, in fact, get console output as we're doing all of this stuff. You would need a settings update. Well, or auto login. I'll have to change it. Custom server. Use custom server. Custom server port. Well, I can always look up that again. And it's a brand new world. It just happens to have the same C as the old one. Whoa, flat stone jackpot there. Okay, so that works. We have to use a different shell for it. So this is actually in the shell script, I think, where it's talking about mount points. Which might not be an issue for my other build process. Did I already have that open? Yes, it did. Source, okay, volume, target equals slash C program files get. So this shell is considering program files get to be the root. And apparently it's doing a shell expand on that in the command instead of passing it through. Current directory. Man, I don't actually want to mount the current directory. Need to run to path must be absolute. Well, that's source equals target equals. I think he just got a bad target line from most of the things. Unless he's running a Windows system. Parser is confused by C. Sort pass does not exist. Yeah, I need a volume mount. This is a directory mount. Current directory, that's a little bit different. etest as data blah, 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 blah. And it's saying :data is not a valid repository tag. Oh, so it's reading that as that. It's probably print working directory, pwd, Windows command, you can mount the current directory. It's current directory again. But this is all command line. I was using a slightly different version of this where it's -- mount instead of -v. PowerShell. I'm going to have to search for specifically -- mount. Perl env code mount path must be absolute. Unfortunately, they're like, just go look at this file. It doesn't even exist. I mean, Docker running on a different machine. Root git config is directory in remote container. Correct command generated on Windows with Linux remote Docker host. VS Code remote try Python. Docker run -- mount remote workspace dist equals workspace. And what is the error message? That's a -v. Source equals remote workspace, dist equals workspace. So this actually seems to be the v equals thing. Empty workspace mount. Now I'm specifically using, well, Windows 10. My projects. msys no pathconf. When launching Docker. Oh, so maybe it's trying to be fancy on the... Error response. Oh, port already allocated. So that's because we left this running. Okay. So it's MSys. It is in fact MSys monkeying with. Hey, that's a Unix path. I bet you want me to convert it for you. And now we've actually got stuff in our data directory. So we can either use WSL or we can use this with an extra variable. Maybe we should just do Docker stuff from here, even though both of the terminals seem to work. All right, so we have servers available if we need them. I guess we should vet our build environment here. Wow, speaking of vetting, what the heck? Oh, I need to configure this environment. Or the scripts have to make sure to make it. Is this... Is this the issue with... There's already a lot of files in here. With the build Windows client build command. That's pretty much just Docker. Wait, no. Windows client fetch. CD to source. What is... Make dir minus p. I mean, really, but I think that, I guess, it'd be good to actually test that in here. Okay, and then similarly, macOS client fetch will need that. We are operating in the mount here. Possibly I would want to redo this to be in the virtual machine for faster IO directory performance. The Git update wasn't too bad. That might possibly be a little slow. Oh, nope, there it goes. It was just finishing off. We do have first time setup to do. All right, so I know one of the things in my build process. Apply patches? No, these are my patches. What's the process? Install them in GW, install them in GW. Does fetch like to take care of it? No. Because somewhere I think I do, or maybe it's only in Windows that I have to do the patch to the Windows path names in minor gems. Oh, maybe, no, that was, I'm probably gonna get a bunch of source references here. Already applied. Well, did work for me. Well, that process is a little bit messed up. Okay. Oh, did it do it? Fetch latest tag. Pull and build latest. I think that might have been a reference script. That's all build server, actually. I guess I was wondering if there was, well, what's in the root directory that could possibly interact with that? It would have to be, I mean, these are mostly just like Docker commands. Could be fetch latest tagged. Wait a minute. No, you go to source and then use Windows client fetch client tag, and then build, which is just the build. So it would have to be in here. Path prefixes. Minor gems. Ah, okay, yes. This is where we are currently patching minor gems. And this is actually going to be a Windows specific thing here. So we have to do the thing like this in both the Windows and Mac builds. So back here, living life. We have to get this little fragment into makefile. Now, is order going to matter here? It might, because at some point we're going to use makefile list. So we have to get it in before that. So we can't, well, maybe we could prepend? Nope, because it needs a root path and platform. Huh. Now, did I have... Wasn't I already replacing the makefile effectively? So Windows client, we've got cross. Well, we're already doing a wholesale replacement of the makefile. Or is this... This is much smaller. Does this go into before configure? So it wouldn't necessarily be the right place to do it. Do we also have that for you? Yeah, we got the platform set up. So the question is going to be, is this going to have all of the necessary... Oh, wait. macOS Cross is platform Linux. And all the framework stuff. Well, it doesn't mess up the detection. So where does this stuff end up in the makefile? Well, it's going to be comparable to... So it's setting platform compile flags, platform link flags. Platform. Okay, so this stuff goes into here, and then this is the other, some other part of the makefile. Set mouse needs a root path. Which is part of the secondary makefile. So I guess we just use... How do we... We want a simple command that will insert something into the middle of a file. Now, it might also be sufficient to do, as long as it gets in before makefile list, it's probably okay. So replace include makefile list with blah. Util log makefile. Yeah, okay. So makefile.all is the place you would do that before. Oh. Interesting. Let's make file list here. Well, needed minor gems objects. Where do this comes from? Makefile.minorgems. Oh. So if we can append to makefile.minorgems before doing configure and everything, then it should get into about the right place, because this is pretty much the function it's serving. Successfully built. All right, All right, now I'm only excluding that file for Linux. Well, I can test that we can build with just this modification. I'm actually going to have to, well, I might be able to have it run a tweak of the fetch script to get a branch that's not like the published branch. And if I'm doing that, I could even have it not necessarily fetch from GitHub. Although, I mean, it's probably going to be a forward branch. Okay. So we got that. You are in OHL Docker. You're a ways up in OHL Docker. So probably this will just be opening files. Fetch latest tagged. Windows client. So I guess that this would essentially go, what do we do with cross right now? Copy cross.star to games platform SDL. Okay, we wouldn't want to put it, well, if it's a fragment, it wouldn't hurt to go there. But we might just want to have a loose file. As nice as it was to have all of that stuff collected. I mean, I guess as long as it's sufficiently named. The way this fetch works is actually doing it in the local file system as well. Apply patches. Well, this thing is our context directory. So they're going to end up inside of it regardless. And then when we do our updates, we can actually test this much just in local file system on the fetch to see that it gets there. So we copy that over, we fix the networking. This is, I guess this would be cat cross, so makefile.setMouse. So if we're in minor gems currently, what was that? Minor gems build makefile.minorgems. Wait. We're already updating the configure script. Like a full override of the configure script. Target makefile. Makefile minor gems. Cat makefile? Okay, well, if we're already doing that, common makefile minor gems, minor gems path, minor gems targets. Minor gem source. Dependencies using GCC. So this is a generated file. Oh, that one's using lowercase. Makefile. Okay, so the platforms were All right, so then this does go into cross. No, because cross goes to a specific directory. I would have to update the path. Makefile path. Oh, that makefile path. Huh. So then you would be... That's makefile path. Makefile path. Wait. You don't have it. Makefile.stl, makefile.common. It's not where those other libraries are. I don't know if that would matter. Makefile setMouse, makefile all, makefile targets, target makefile. Game 9 configure. I wonder if he got this from someplace else. I mean, maybe it was Jason's Game 9. before we came up with a name for it. All right. But we actually have to put it there. Windows client. Oh, the other thing I haven't solved is make file list. Because that needs some sort of, in theory, well, I never build on Linux. In theory, that should have some sort of conditional execution on it. All right, so this gets updated locally in fetch. Updated one path from the index. Oh no, actually, we don't execute configure though. We can just check that, what is it, game platforms SDL has our file. I don't think we can execute configure. No, this is minor gems. Windows client cross. Not yet. Fetch latest tagged. Okay, wrong window. Too many windows. Fetch latest tagged. Yeah, we don't run configure here. So we actually do have to execute this to, well, what's the Docker file process look like? Copy, install mngw, run. Fetch latest tagged, apply patches, build client cross, does the configure 5, which we could probably just go in there and do that. Did I make this parameterizable? Maybe I didn't. No, I didn't. So now we're doing the entire build. Did I do something like a separate script for that? Windows Client Bash, okay. All right, we're in source. We've got there's the configure script. Do we even have VI here? Nope. Do we have grep here? Yeah. Grep makefile for Okay, arguments backwards. Okay, that's in there. It's not attempting to link yet. Oh, actually, we're referencing setMouse O. Would that just be an empty string if it was an unknown variable? That we could easily test in our local build. Make file list. Some little windows. Did I actually close? I think I closed my build window. Right, because I had to reboot. And if this becomes a... Well, I've been waiting to see if we get anything going with MSys2 before I go and shortcut this again. Okay, you got something last time, not this most recent one. Oh, it might not see anything to change. Yeah. Make file. Undefined reference to setMouse. Okay, so yes, if this is undefined, which if we set up a Linux build, we would not include this edit, I guess. And then it would just be undefined as an empty string, and it wouldn't attempt to include it. So many different terminals. I guess I've gotten used to doing Git stuff in the Git terminal. I know we've got the user set. Okay, that's a whole... I probably just CD'd this. Or no, we had to reboot anyway. A whole Docker. A whole Docker. Git status, STG series, we are currently here. Okay, we've got some conflicts to work out. Very, very similar things. I guess this ended up being the first one there. Oh, Gigit. That's why I couldn't figure out. There'll be some shell completion script there. Refresh. Attempt to go here again. Okay. Let's see if we can manage the branches here. STG export, custom git ignore. Two. All right, is this? Okay, it's pretty much all line changes. I think the only change is we've kind of rewritten two patches. Edge push combined with so that's that. The README screen edge push is, let's see, where did we put this? I guess the series file would also tell us that. Interaction keys. Holding C will how do we state this? In the map buffer, As far as the calculate character remains in frame is still true. All right, we do have a new file. Now I could even just, I could even just go clone this locally. So Windows client, fetch latest tagged. So that's a clone, and then it's just saying git fetch. So this is get our latest tagged patch. I don't have anything, I don't have overrides set up for this. So there's patch version number. So we would just say do that. So that originally cloned from there, but we can probably go in and override it. Oh, is this environment? Should be fine. Oh, right, we have a git in here. Actually, an older version. We're probably using a newer one here, so I don't want to stick to this. Patches master, hold Docker. Windows client. Wait. All right, because it's inside OneLife. Git fetch. So patches master, OneLife, source, Windows client, hold Docker, OneLife, patches master. We got head. We didn't get... No, I thought fetch got every... Oh, I've not committed yet. Yeah. Or maybe patches could have the little fragment of makefile, but then the build system still has to reference it. Maybe I could move some common bits of that to there. Okay, it's still head. Okay, it... Yeah, origin head and origin master. Doesn't appear to be a Git repository. Okay. So on GitHub, it works to fetch all branches. Fetch all Git branches. Fetch all. Okay, huh. Maybe I can figure something to make that the default behavior in one of my other copies. Oh. Wait. Does not take a repository argument? Oh, all remotes. No. Which track remote branches? I don't need to track them. I just... maybe it's this syntax. Okay. It's not colon on this. The colon is branch to branch, not repository. So we've got a local copy. We're in whole Docker. Fetch should attempt to fetch from GitHub, but then check this out. Path spec set mouse did not match any files known to Git. Okay. So we also have to I probably because it wasn't a remote. Yeah, okay. So what we actually want to do is for here, git remote add okay, now okay, well, it's going to set up to track it. Fine. Done. So if it's checking that out, it should be attempting to apply code that will depend on that object. Which means the build would fail if that wasn't in place. So I've tried to set up my environment to where the Docker file will run if you run it straight out, but if you fetch all the Git stuff before, we won't be hitting GitHub every time. Or at least not having to actually download anything. One of the things I need to work on is trying to see if there's any kind of build system I can use that would streamline this. Or I can just like either have it watch Jason's GitHub and my GitHub, or do a scheduled check. Oh, cannot find one file. Oh. Okay, that means I forgot to update my settings. Wait, no more files. Oh, nope. Minor gems, set mouse 32. Huh. Oh, does this in turn depend on some sort of file that's in my environment but not their environment? There's a whole lot of WinUser stuff, but I wouldn't be surprised that's coming in from setmouse. In file included from setmouse. Okay. So why do you will work locally and not work here? Well, this is the cross compile and not the actual on Windows MinGW32. Why are you different? Yeah, so it's a whole lot of stuff it doesn't like in WinUser. And then setmouse doesn't get all of those declarations. Why does it lurk locally and not work here? Typedef windproc is initialized. So hwind not declared in the scope seems like maybe a more Oh, okay. So this was just a typo, but I actually need it to specifically for hwind. Because that's the kind of error. Defines not declared in. And find the Windows version. MinGW problem, 64. This does look like it is MinGW. Yeah, include WinUser H. Now, I'm kind of hoping that all that stuff was set up already. Hides behind MSVC and MinGW 64. Well, it's a specific. Workarounds for stuff. What's the compiler? A specific function. All right, so what is setmouse doing here? What's this tag? README. We do have to go back and include that setting file. Oh, maybe, I guess, is glut what it's using on Linux? Include winuser.h, include setmouse.h. So is this a W64 issue? Because we're not currently using that. But I've... is that a 64-bit compiler that compiles a 32-bit, or is it a 64 to 64? Typedef winproc is initialized. Use decal type instead. How about this one? No one has ever seen this error before. What the heck is winuser.h? My Windows controls. So actually, this is set mouse is his function. It's set cursor position. Set cursor, yeah, set cursor pause. Is this winuser? Winuser.h. What are the dependencies of winuser.h? Set mouse, set cursor, pause. There is... Okay. Load cursor. Create cursor. These aren't complete programs. So it doesn't tell us what we need to include to make this work. Now, Microsoft Compiler will probably do some certain amount of setup for you. Including Windows.h. Project. Win32, win NT. The problem here is that this is in minor gems. So I actually have to make this fetch latest tag not do anything to minor gems. So that we can hack on it. Of course, now we got even more minor gems patches. Documents a whole. Windows client cross, source, minor gems. Set mouse, Win32. Oh, you're seeing this too. Wait a minute. I probably never wrote it to it. Huh, okay. So the checking environment is also unhappy with it, even though it works here. Weren't we searching for... We did that. Did that. No, we searched for this already. Hey, Aircooled, how's it going? And no one has ever seen this error before. No, I think H1 is pretty important. I mean, I guess I can do the full Windows, but it just seems like total overkill. Cannot find one file. Yeah, so this is, so that didn't help. All right, so this is minor gems. Well, I did fix that. I know the networking stuff includes only WinSock and not like Windows. But I don't know, you'd think you'd get the H windows undeclared more often if that was a thing. Of course, now I want to know what's in Windows, and is like there's some other thing I could include. Like, does Windows do WinUser and a bunch of other stuff? Okay, that's the version. Windows data types. What was undeclared identifier? That's not going to do so much. It needs to be before the defines, I'm pretty sure. It includes. We could try lean and mean, though. Assuming this even works. Declared and use winproc, but defined winproc. Ah. Okay, that one was just a typo. Okay, so that is sufficient. Now, how much can we narrow this? What do we run across? Windows data types. Well, this is just saying what they are. I don't know if it says where they're defined. Header. It's either base TSD, WinDef, or WinNT. Or maybe it's all of them? Let's see. I know for the build I had, oh. So, which one did it? Maybe it's WinDef. I know for the build, I actually had to flip the case of some things. I forget which way that went. So this would have to be, I guess I could probably do a prepend to this file. I don't know that Jason's going to be too moved to make changes for the cross build here. I'm starting to worry I'm going to need a full-on patch set for minor gems, though. As we tweak the make file, we have to. This is its own CPP, so it's not like I could, like if there was if it was setmouse.h, you could do things before you include that, similar to how we did WinDef before WinUser. All right, so that is sufficient. For some reason, and I don't know what that reason is, the other version automatically includes WinDef. Is that a thing? Automatically includes. Automatically includes some header files for you. Depending the verb, it automatically includes these for me. Yeah, until I compile another system. Other headers. So maybe it's on one version they're using a version of WinUser that includes WinDef, on the other one they aren't. Open scene graph. So maybe an include parameter in the make file would fix that, but then again, it would be including that into every single file, even though only this one needs it. There's not like a, well, there's a bunch of make files in here. Does anything specifically no, I'm in minor gems. Nothing specifically references this file. There must be just some sort of generalized, C to object rule. So I don't know if there's any place to hook that in. How do we patch that? So we've got a patch for the WinSock case, and it is doing capital to lowercase. What would be a... I think includes have to be in one line. Because I could... If I did include WinUser and replaced that with a carriage return. Hey Yaroslav, I am trying to get my camera patch working in my Docker build system. And there's the usual weird errors. In this case, in the cross-compiler environment, you have to include WinDef to avoid errors in WinUser. Yep, this is, I guess, gvim, but it's pretty much like, if you go to Vim, it's the default Windows build. My understanding is that Windows.h is the kitchen sink. I did try that and it did work, but I'm like, do we really need that entire thing? So I mean, yeah, it would definitely work as a get it working thing, but I poked around about where the types are defined, and yeah, there's like lean and mean and all that stuff. But that's more stuff I'd have to look up. And that would definitely cut it down. You still have to process the entire include file. But I haven't wanted to do a full patch set for minor gems, although they're accumulating and we might have to do that. So right now I'm just trying to do some little patches in the build system. I'm not really sure which one I'm using here. Yeah. Now, this is find in network. This would be in UI. And technically, in a specific file. Oh, this is find exec sed. This is a specific file. So we can probably just... Well, this was the parameter from exec, I think. This has to be meta character. Oh, no, you are... I don't remember if that's a meta character. So we have to find that. And then, isn't there a way... to just say whatever we had? Yeah, the newer version, the SDL2 does have functions that do what I want, but I didn't see anything in SDL1 that would accomplish the set mouse effect. Number match. This is all sed stuff. I'm not getting into the regexes. There's a special thing for replacements. Character classes. Referencing the contents of the pattern that was matched. With the surrounding parentheses, okay. We can say do that, and then now do include when def.h carriage return what we matched. And the difference here was we had to do -i blah. All right, so we take this out. And that thing is detecting errors again. So I can test, this was originally in my local file system. Does client fetch, we'll end up running this. It kind of might be a little bit too much. I should probably figure out the right context and everything. Load file. Okay, we could use a space. I don't know if that's syntactically significant, but... if we're doing a checkout, it should clear the changes. We're not right now. Why are we not checking out minor gems? Now, minor gems is fine. It was patches. Oh no, because I was hand editing this. For testing purposes. Okay, cool. And then hopefully that will actually build. Now, this won't include the stand call patch until Jason merges that into minor gems, but I don't. This should still be an older version of the compiler where that wasn't manifesting an issue. Okay. With that hopefully solved, and I think that is... Well, I could go ahead and fix the setting file and make sure that works, as long as I've got a locally modified version here. So patches master, I should have that open in something, readme. And what I forgot was package files. Now, did I actually put that in the patch? No. We also have got it there. That's minor gems. That's local minor gems. We only did that in our testing directory. Oh, did I just forget to add it? No. Camera control. Camera key. I put the, as if it was the, okay. So actually that is in the patch. It is just the patches master. So you have to export. No, that was already there. It's this. Patch version number. Oh no, that's that. Okay. That is the checkout of it. And all we're really checking is that we spelled the file name correctly, because it will say a file didn't work if it wasn't able to find it. And there was something here. I mean, pretty much impossible till we stop scrolling. Oh, now you see, I typoed the name, and even though I was searching for it there, I didn't even look at that. Oh, and we're on a case-insensitive system. So technically, it's the file itself that's a problem. And because we're on a case-insensitive file system, that's going to be a royal pain in the butt on Git. STG refresh minus patch. Game source settings. That probably means we messed it up in the build directory. Yep. Game source. Settings. Replace. Git add game source settings. Camera. All right, and we can still have. No, oh, we do. The patch has changed. The case of the file has changed. This is why my version numbers sometimes go crazy incrementing, because I have to fix all these little issues. And in following Jason's footsteps, the build system is based on tagged versions. Which I guess is one possible reason why you might not want to do that. I mean, maybe some way to. I mean, I guess if you did it locally and like force replace the versions before actually publishing them. But I've actually been running stuff between the computers on GitHub. So that kind of means you have to publish it. If I could set this up to, well, having it fetched from GitHub means it works from anywhere. Okay, so there were no file fails. Now what was this startup thing here? Cannot remove. Does not appear to be a Git repository. Well, I was doing that locally, so something in here. Oh. Okay, I might have to remove that because git fetch must do all remotes. So I may have to remove that remote to. Well, that's only on the local directory, but. Okay, so I think patches master itself is okay. So that should be versionable. Oh, I can't publish from here right now. I've got some key setup I need to do for. Well, S3 might be okay. But I've also got the thing set up, I think, for. I started doing GitHub releases because of the PX Shadows Open Life launcher, and then it seemed like that never got updated. So, oh well. All right, so you're up in here. Looks like we might have to. All right, so I think you're clear to publish. We will need to do real quick. Okay, that's just the window. Especially it's tagged. Too many windows. Package files. Change log. We already know what that version is. And we said that was 68. That's the naming scheme, right? Yeah, V. Okay, and then we seem to be having some issues with the remote here. You know, it should have been a Git repository. Windows client source. All right, we've got a new file. Make ders. We need to, okay, path. Include that path. Fix WinUser. It's only in setmouse32, so that won't affect any of their builds. No, you're not fetch latest tagged. And I think this is our other thing. Make dir. It's like the more it works, well, the characters end up getting echoed into the terminal. All right, so that updates that. If I update my environment, I should be able to publish these. So here that. This is, did it include it here? Didn't actually need it here. Okay, so that's the local minor gems. We hopefully done with that. All right. README updates. Well, I already tagged it. Use with index is probably just a check and exclude. But I'm kind of feeling like that's been a pretty big break in actually working on the program. And maybe I should just not go late today. Even though there are probably small-ish things in here, it just kind of feels like maybe a good time to end. Because I do have build updates to check. Thanks for watching. Thanks to the people who support me and all the people who hosted me. Let me see if I can find anything to recommend. I had a lot of coding this morning. I guess it is technically a holiday. This is when I'm usually on. Let's see. So that's like overhead stuff. That's some web dev. Well, yeah. Okay, that might be starting soon, but that would be a good place to hang out for some more coding. Oh, he's up. All right. Looking for someplace cool to hang out. CM Griffing is starting up. Looks like he's working in Rust and JavaScript. Well, there's a bug in the raid thing. NA is the username, but it's got the right picture. If you're looking for someplace cool to hang out, that's someplace cool to hang out. Thanks for hanging out with me. Goodbye and until next time.